Have you ever felt completely alone, even in a room full of people? Not just alone in the physical sense, but existentially alone, like there's a quiet space between your thoughts and the world around you. A space no one else can quite enter. A sense that you are thinking at a different depth or simply observing from a distance. What if I told you that this feeling, the often painful, sometimes euphoric, always complex experience of solitude, isn't just normal, it might be essential. In this video, we're going to explore the philosophy of loneliness, not just as a social or emotional state, but as a powerful force that has shaped many of the greatest minds in human history. We'll look at how solitude, chosen or imposed, has helped philosophers, writers, and artists tap into deeper layers of self, society, and truth. And we'll explore how you can shift your own relationship with being alone, from something to avoid to something that empowers you. Let's begin with a question. Why do so many great thinkers choose solitude? Friedrich Nietzsche, for example, once wrote, "The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe." For him, solitude was not just beneficial, it was necessary. A refuge from the noise of conformity. In his view, to become an original thinker, to find one's own values, one must step away from the crowd. Solitude, for Nietzsche, was where transformation begins, where the Overman is born. He believed that in solitude, we encounter not only our most profound thoughts, but also our most uncomfortable truths. It's where illusions about who we are, shaped by family, culture, and tradition, begin to unravel. And that unraveling, painful as it may be, is a prerequisite for true self-overcoming. Likewise, Blaise Pascal, the 17th century French philosopher, said, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." He saw modernity's obsession with distraction, entertainment, gossip, business, as a desperate flight from the self. Being alone meant encountering your thoughts, your fears, your limitations. But that was exactly the point. For Pascal, solitude was not a place of weakness, but of moral and philosophical strength. Then there's Henry David Thoreau, who retreated to Walden Pond for over 2 years to live simply, quietly, and alone. He wrote, "I never found the companion that was so companionable as solitude." In his solitude, he discovered not isolation but restoration, a way to reconnect with nature, with purpose, and with a deeper sense of the self beyond social obligation. Thoreau's time at Walden wasn't about escape, it was about experiment. He wanted to see what remained when society's noise faded, what values survived, what desires persisted, what did he actually need? In his reflection, he found that solitude gave him clarity, not confusion. We begin to see a pattern for these thinkers. Solitude wasn't a punishment. It was an instrument. It stripped away the inessential. It forced attention inward. And from that quiet, something powerful emerged: clarity, originality, wisdom. This isn't just ancient wisdom either. Modern psychology has shown that solitude, when it is chosen and structured, can improve creativity, emotional regulation, and even physical well-being. It's not loneliness that heals us. It's mindful solitude, the conscious embrace of time alone. But that raises a crucial question. What's the difference between loneliness and solitude? Loneliness is painful. It's a feeling of lack, of being cut off. It's often involuntary. The world turns away, or we are separated by loss, by conflict, by circumstance. Solitude, on the other hand, is voluntary. It's not about what's missing, but about what's present. Solitude says, "Here I am, whole, enough, listening." Solitude gives us room to think. Not the frantic, scattered kind of thinking that dominates modern life, but slow, deep, focused thought. In solitude, the mind stretches. It's no longer reacting, it's reflecting. It's one of the few places where you can begin to hear your own inner voice, unfiltered. The trick is learning how to turn one into the other, how to transform loneliness, which is deeply human, into solitude, which is deeply empowering. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It requires practice. It requires courage, and it requires awareness, the willingness to sit with discomfort and ask, what can this teach me? So let me ask you, have you ever experienced a time of solitude, chosen or not, that changed you? Maybe it came after a breakup, a job loss, a move to a new city. Maybe it wasn't welcome at first, but maybe slowly that time alone became something else, a time of growth, of clarity, of rediscovery. If you've experienced this, share your story in the comments. You never know who might be going through their own quiet transformation right now, and your words might help them feel seen. Now let's go deeper into what solitude can actually do for you. First, it gives you space to deconstruct. In solitude, you can begin to separate yourself from the roles you play, employee, partner, friend, citizen, and encounter yourself simply as you. That's uncomfortable at first, but it's also incredibly honest. Second, solitude gives you space to rebuild. Once you've removed the noise of other people's expectations, you can ask, what do I value? What do I believe? What do I want to create? In this way, solitude becomes a forge for identity. Third, solitude allows ideas to form that aren't just recycled from others. Most opinions we hear in daily life are echoes from social media, TV, conversations. But in solitude, you hear something else, your own thought, unfiltered. This is why so many artists, inventors, and philosophers seek solitude. It's not because they hate people. It's because they need distance to see clearly. In solitude, we become better thinkers, not just because we escape distraction, but because we access depths of thought that the noise of daily life never allows us to touch. It's in solitude that you may begin to understand what truly matters to you. Not what's trending, not what's popular, but what's true. That said, solitude needs boundaries. Extended isolation without purpose or connection can spiral into depression. Solitude should be intentional, it should be structured, and it should be balanced with occasional return to community. So how can you use solitude well? Start small. 1 hour a day without your phone. Go for a walk without music. Sit quietly and write. Ask yourself uncomfortable questions. Let your thoughts unfold slowly. Make space. Not just physical space, but mental space. Let silence happen. Resist the urge to fill it. Solitude is not about productivity. It's about presence. In that presence, something remarkable happens. Your mind begins to settle. Your thoughts begin to organize. Your vision sharpens. And from that quiet, ideas, real, original, meaningful ideas, begin to surface. You realize that you're not just escaping the world. You're learning how to re-enter it more consciously. In the end, solitude doesn't separate you from the world. It prepares you to return with greater clarity, empathy, and purpose. So if you find yourself alone right now, don't panic. Don't rush to fill the silence. Listen to it. Welcome it. Because some of the brightest minds in history were formed in the quietest rooms. And maybe yours is being formed too. If this video gave you something to think about, consider subscribing. Here, we explore ideas that challenge, inspire, and open space for thinking deeper, feeling fuller, and being more fully human. And remember, you're not broken for being alone. You're becoming.